pag-uusapan natin, part ng series natin about the life rhythms of Jesus Christ ay yung kanyang silence. Last week, pinag-usapan natin yung kanyang submission to the Father. So, yung mga nakaraan, yung kanyang prayer life, solitude, and today we will look at His silence. Ang silence is, part of silence is listening. Sa mag-asawa, very important ang listening. You know? Sa first year ng marriage, yung lalaki ang nagsasalita at yung babae ang nag-listen. Sa second year of marriage daw, yung babae yung nagsasalita and yung lalaki ang nag-listen. Sa third year of marriage, pareha sila nagsasalita, yung neighbor sila. So very important ang listening. So, we'll start with the background of Jesus speaking methods para i-compare natin yung methods ni Jesus Christ sa kanyang silence. Si Jesus po, pag nag-uumpisang mag-turo or mag-preach, kadalasan nag-i-start siya with a question. Ganun po kasi ang gawain ng mga teacher. Yan ang kaugalian ng mga teacher doon sa Palestine, sa time ni Jesus Christ. Kahit hanggang ngayon, may nakita na akong palabas sa TV recently. Ano yata yun? Storage Wars in Canada, gano'n. Tapos yung isa doon sa nag-big, may nahanap siya na parang book na nakasulat sa Hebrew. Tapos dinala niya dun sa synagogue. Tinanong niya yung rabbi. Sabi na, "Are you the rabbi?" Tinanong niya yung rabbi. Ang sagot ng rabbi, "Why do you think I'm the rabbi?" So laging tanong yung sagot ng mga rabbi. Meron din na rabbi, tinanong daw siya. Nagalit na kasi yung tinuturuan niya. Sabi niya, "Kayong mga rabbi, why do you always start your lessons with a question?" Sabi ng rabbi, "What's wrong with a question?" Ganon po talaga sila pag-start na kaya. Okay, so Jesus, like the rabbis, start usually his teachings, his discourses with a question. For example, sa Matthew 12, verses 1 to 3, nung dumaan yung mga disciples sa cornfield during the Sabbath, Saturday, rest day yun. So, sabi dito, at that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath." Ang sagot ni Jesus, "Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry?" So, he started with a question. Pag pinag-aralan niyo yung mga teachings ni Jesus Christ sa Matthew, Mark, and Luke, usually nag-start siya ng question. Also, yung teaching method ni Jesus Christ, na-entertain yung mga tao, actually. Natitilight yung mga crowds. Sabi sa Mark chapter 12, verse 37, "The large crowd listened to Him with delight." So, si Jesus po magaling magbigay ng message sa natutuwa yung mga tao. Sa mga pastor po, pag nagsisermon sila, natutulog yung mga tao, kasalanan po nila yun. But Jesus spoke in parables, and people were delighted with those, and they were delighted nung siya'y sagutan din sa mga Pharisees and scribes. Actually, yung context nito, nagsagutan si Jesus sa yung mga scribes. Thirdly, isang teaching method ni Jesus, pagdating sa mga disciples, prakahan. So, straight siya magsalita sa mga disciples. When it comes to the crowds, bibigay siya ng mga parables. So, but when it comes to the disciples, pinapaliwanag niya yung mga parables niya at saka straightforward siya magsalita sa kanila. For example, dito sa Mark chapter 9, verse 19, nung hindi mapagaling ng mga disciples yung possessed na bata, nagalit si Jesus sa kanila. Sabi ni Jesus, "You unbelieving generation," Jesus replied, "How long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." And also, direktahan siya magsalita sa mga disciples. Because he expects better sa mga disciples. For example, kay Peter, nung sa last chapter ng John, nung tinatanong ni Peter, kasi pinabihan siya ni Christ, ang meaning nung sinabi ni Christ sa kanya, "Pagtanda mo, ikaw ay mamamatay para sa akin, you will be crucified." Ganun. Nakita niya si John, sabi niya, yun po si John, anong mangyayari kay John? Sabi ni Christ sa kanya, "Anong pakialam mo dyan? Huwag mo siyang pakialaman," sabi. So, diretsahan si Christ. But, dumating si Jesus sa napaka-critical na moment ng kanyang life during His passion. And instead of preaching, He taught by being silent. He was silent. And He chose to suffer silently. Hindi siya magsagot, hindi siya magagalit. He suffered silently. At yun ang sabi ni Peter, which is our main text today, sa 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21 to 23. Sabi sa 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21 to 23, "To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in His steps. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in His mouth. When they hurled their insults at Him, He did not retaliate. When He suffered, He made no threats. Instead, He entrusted Himself to Him who judges justly." So, yun po yung main text natin sa 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21 to 23. Tingnan natin kung saan kwento sa Gospels yung tinutukoy ni Peter. Sa Mark chapter 14, verse 64b, 65, sabi doon, "They all condemned Him," si Jesus, "as worthy of death." Etong scene na to, nandun pa si Jesus sa temple, at yung mga guards na sinasabi nito, yung mga guards sa temple. Then some began to spit at Him. So dinuraan nila si Jesus Christ. They blindfolded Him, struck Him with their fists. Sinuntok nila, sinagpak nila si Jesus, binatukan nila, and said, kasi may blindfold siya, sabi, "Prophesy! Sino ang pumupog sa'yo? Hulaan mo." Kasi kung prophet ka, kahit may blindfold ka, alam mo kung sino ang sumuntok sa'yo. But Jesus did not answer. I'm sure, kahit may blindfold si Jesus, kilala niya kung sino yung sumuntok sa kanya. Kilala niya asawa nun, kilala niya mga anak nun, alam niya kung sino lolo at lola nun, sinong biyenan at manugang nun, kilala niya lahat. But He chose to be silent. Then sa Mark 15, verse 15 to 20, this time, Jesus was in the palace ni Herod. Verse 15, sabi dito, "Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed Him over to be crucified." So nakita natin yung, malala natin yung passion of the Christ, kung paano si Jesus doon hinagupit. Makikita natin talaga yung ginamit ng mga Roman soldiers, no? Yung kanilang whip. May mga, hindi lang yung tali, kundi may mga bakal yun, may maliliit na pieces of bones, na pag hinampas ka, didikit sa laman mo pag hilan ka. Ngunit yung katawan ni Jesus Christ. Then, verse 16, the soldiers led Jesus away into the palace. That is the praetorium. And called the whole company of soldiers. So, buong batalyon ng masundalo yung nagpahirap kay Jesus Christ. They put a purple robe on him, then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. So, ilagyan siya ng corona ng tinik. Alam natin yun. And they began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" So, iniinsulto nila si Jesus Christ. Again and again, they struck him on the head with a staff and spit on him. Falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes on him. And they led him out to crucify him. Then, dito nakita natin na walang imik si Jesus Christ. Hindi siya nagsalita kahit sinasaktan siya, kahit siya binubugbog, dinuduraan, he suffered silently. So let's go back to the main text natin sa 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 21 to 26. To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, for us, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he trusted to him who judges justly. What lessons do we learn from the silence of Jesus, according kay Peter? And how can Jesus be silent in that moment na tino-torture siya? How could he do it? I think the answer lies in that prepare niya na yung life niya for that moment. He had prepared his life for that moment of suffering. Alam niya, doon talaga siya papunta eh. And he had prepared himself for that. With the rhythms that he had practiced even before. His solitude, his silence with the Lord, listening with God, his prayer, his fasting. These are disciplines of tinatawag nilang disciplines of disengagement. Yung letting go. Yung mga discipline na yan, ng fasting, ng solitude, ng silence. Yan yung mga practice where we disengage with the world. We disengage with even our own desires. Kaya see, Jesus was prepared for that moment. Kasi all his life, he has taught himself. He has done the practices. So he was prepared for that terrible time of suffering. There are rhythms of engagement na tinatawag. Yun yung serving people as you engage with people. Tapos yung celebration, which is Kuya Ray's topic next Sunday. Those are called rhythms or disciplines of engagement na nakikipag-fellowship tayo with people. So, when we give, that's a discipline of engagement. But isang bahagi ng rhythms of life ni Christ, and a big part of his life was these disciplines of disengagement. Now, what do we learn from the silence of Jesus? The first thing we learn is that silence shows perfection. Silence shows perfection. Sabi ni Peter, he committed no sin and no deceit was found in his mouth. Maraming proverbs ito sabi na silence shows wisdom. Kahit daw kahit yung fool, yung hangal, pag tahimik siya, napagkakamalan siya, matalino. Kapag tahimik ka lang talaga, no? Kala nila, matalino ka. Matalino tayo. But, ang sabi sa Bible, fools immediately show their reaction kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. But the wise are silent. So Jesus' silence shows perfection. Hindi siya, bakit? Kasi hindi siya nagkasala. You know, during that period na sinasaktan siya, natural reaction ng isang tao na sinaktan ka, mumurahin mo yung manakit sa'yo, di ba? Napakan yung bago mong sapatos sa MRT. Di ba magagalit ka? O tinawag kang tatang for the first time. Diba? Yung first time ako tinawag na kuya, tinawag ko rin ate, yung nagtitinda. Mas di ko siya binilahan, bumita ko. Kasi mas matanda. But yung natural reaction natin, di ba? But Jesus suffered in silence and shows perfection. No deceit was found in his mouth. Kung memorize nyo yung fruit of the Spirit sa Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 to 23, ano yung last na fruit na lumalabas? Self-control. Ito yung last na lumalabas sa fruit of the Spirit. Kasi ito yung pinakamahirap sa lahat. Ito yung pinakamahirap sa lahat. Self-control. Pag ginawan ka ng masama, gusto mo rin umante. Pag nasabihan ka ng hindi maganda, sasagot ka rin na sagutin tayo ng hindi maganda. But silence shows perfection because it shows self-control. And pinakamahirap sa lahat na kontrolin ay ang dila. Sabi ni James, lahat ng klase ng hayop na napapaamo ng tao. Pero yung dila ay hindi natin na kontrol, hindi natin napapaamo. Actually, sabi niya, ang perfect na Christian ay sa James chapter 3 verse 2, sabi niya, we all stumble in many ways. But anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check. So kung kaya natin kontrolin yung ating pananalita, that shows perfect maturity as Christians. So Jesus' control of his tongue during his suffering showed perfect maturity. So for us, it may not be as easy to control our tongues. Pero sabi nga ni Peter, we are called to share Christ's suffering and to learn from his example. To learn silence. Pangalawang lesson that we can learn from the silence of Christ is that silence gives space for God. Binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon yung God na gumalaw sa buhay natin. Instead of us struggling for ourselves, answering for ourselves, with this God who answers for us. The very act of speaking, even if just to defend ourselves, we can consider that as an act of power. No? May magamit tayo. Words are powerful. And when we speak, we want to convince people, we want to defend ourselves, we want to explain kung anong alam natin, or we want to show ano yung tama o anong nalalaman natin. When we speak, we're exercising power. When we keep our mouths closed, when we allow others to speak, when we allow God to speak, we are giving space for God, we're giving space for people, and that's an act of surrender. That's an act of love. And we are silent. So silence gives space for God. Sabi ni Peter, Jesus entrusted himself to Him, to God, who judges justly. So Jesus gave space for the Father. Una-una, yung silence ni Jesus showed trust in God. Pinapakita yung pagtitiwala niya sa Ama. Pinakita nito yung inilagay niya yung buhay niya sa kamay ng Ama. Kahit yung pinagdalhan sa kanya ng Ama ay to that point of suffering, still he trusted that God loved him. Even at that point. The silence of Christ during His suffering showed complete trust in His Father's goodness. Jesus knew that even if He faced terrible pain and agonizing death, He would trust the Father. Kaya sabi ni Paul sa Romans chapter 8, all things work together for good to those who love God. I know marami sa atin ang may mga dinadaanan na challenges at this moment. Marami sa atin ng mga frustrations or illness or financial challenges or challenge of family, relationships. But we can trust God. We can trust God. And just come before God and be silent and know that God will work things out. That's our hope. Trust God. So, hindi lahat ng oras sa ating buhay as Christians ay bed of roses. Yung kanta ni Bon Jovi, no? Bed of roses. Hindi talaga may pagdadaanan tayo ng challenges. Sabi nga ni Peter, to this you were called. Hindi naman na special yun na suffering kasi karamihan ng dinadaanan natin na challenges or problems, dinadaanan din ng lahat ng tao na hindi Christians, na hindi naniniwala sa Panginoon. But our challenges and suffering means so much more for us. Dahil ginagamit ng Panginoon yan para ipakita sa atin kung ano yung gagawin mo. If we learn to trust like Jesus. Pangalawa, yung silence ni Jesus showed His submission and humility. Pinapakita nito yung kanyang pagpapakumbaba, pag-surrender sa kanyang Ama. Last Sunday, we talked about submission. How Jesus said that my food is to do the will of Him who sent me and to finish His work. In our journeys sa being Christian, I have, since sa aking understanding sa ngayon, we are being led to depend on God. Yung buong journey natin is to know God. And we can know God by depending on Him. Yung ginawa nila Adan at Eva sa garden, that was their declaration of independence from God. Kami na yung bahala na papaano kami maging kagaya sa iyo. It will be our own knowledge. We will rely on our own selves. The problem with that is yung unang natutunan nila when they received that knowledge is how inadequate they were. yung nakedness nila na nakita ni Adan. Very inadequate pala ako sa atin. That's why he was filled with shame. Pero sa Panginoon kasi wala yun eh. God created him that way, God loved him that way, but for him, he found that to be embarrassing. In our journey as Christians, in our spiritual journey, we are being led to depend on God more and more. So we need, so God will give us lessons of humility along the way. May mga dadaanan tayo. For us to realize that God is the one who will save us. God is the one who will rescue us. Be still. Sabi ng Panginoon, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Sabi sa isang psalm, yes, so my soul find rest in God. My hope comes from Him. Truly, He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. Now, we are being called in our journey towards God to be able to enter into that fortress where we are safe, where we are protected, where our silence and suffering has meaning. Pangatlo, doon sa space for God na pinapakita ni Jesus ng kanyang silence, I believe na pinapakita niya doon that sometimes love must prevail over truth. At I hope you understand what I mean, no? Love sometimes must prevail over truth. Sometimes you know something to be true. Pero pag sinabi mo, makakasakit ka. Or makakasira ng relasyon. Slander doesn't mean you said something na sinungaling, kasinungalingan. Slander doesn't mean na you lied. Slander can also mean, totoo yung sinabi mo. Sinabi mo sa boss mo, si Jerry, late na naman. Totoo. But you said that kasi gusto mo na mas mataas yung tingin ng boss mo sa'yo. So, truth. You're using truth. You're saying truth. Pero not out of love. When Jesus was before Pilate, tinanong siya ni Pilate. Takot na kasi si Pilate kasi sabi ng misis ni Pilate sa kanya, don't, have nothing to do with that man. I have seen him in a dream, sabi niya, ang wife ni Pilate. So si Pilate natakot, gusto niya pakawalan si Jesus Christ. So nilapitan niya ulit si Christ, sabi niya, where do you come from? Where do you really come from? And kung sumagot doon si Jesus Christ, he told the truth, he's from heaven, I think papakawalan siya ni Pilate. But he chose to be silent. Because if he spoke the truth, it would free him from the suffering, pero hindi malalaman ng mga tao kung gaano kamahal ng Diyos ang humanity. Jesus would not die for, hindi siya ipapapakot ng Peter. But the reason Christ came, sabi niya, is to do the will of Him who sent me. And that is to be for people to be able to see kung gaano kamahal ng God tayong lahat. By His silence, He showed that love must prevail over truth sometimes. So, minsan pag tinanong mo yung wife mo, bakit yung wedding ring mo nasa maling kamay? Saan ba dapat nakalagay yung wedding ring? Sa kaliwa? Nakalagay sa kanan. Sabi mo, bakit nasa kanan yung wedding ring mo? Bakit? Why is your wedding ring in the wrong hand? Mas awawa, sinabi ng misis mo. Because I married the wrong guy. Just keep silent. Just keep silent lang. Love must prevail. So, maraming times we will find ourselves confronted with situations na pwede nating pwede nating exonerate yung sarili natin if we speak the truth. But sometimes it's better to be silent to keep the relationship. But that doesn't mean na lahat ng oras yun, no? Sometimes lang. Sometimes you have to speak out, especially if your silence would mean others will be hurt. But kung yung sarili ko lang, okay lang yun. If you sacrifice yung sarili mo, that's okay. But if others will be hurt, kailangan you have to speak out. But love must prevail. Basta yung ginagawa natin is always out of love. Whether we speak or whether we are silent, should be out of love. So, ano yung benefits para sa atin ng silence? The benefits for us are many things. We can cultivate silence for perfection, self-control. No? Ayaw natin na every time makarinig ka na may nagsabi ng hindi maganda, re-react agad tayo violently. Halimbawa, bigay ka ng 8 pesos sa driver, hindi ka sinuklihan ng 50. Huwag ka na magalit. Sa susunod, 7 piso lang iabot mo. Ganun ginagawa. Hindi makakareklamo. Kasi malapit lang sa amin. But sometimes magagalit tayo agad. No? It's for our own benefit that we are able to control our emotions. Kahirap pag yung emotion mo parang parang kung saan mapunta, di ba? Minsan nandito, minsan nandoon. Silence will help us control our emotions and will lead to Christian perfection and maturity. Pangalawa, silence gives space to God. How we trust ourselves sa Panginoon. The most important thing is how God sees us. It's not how people see us. Sometimes inuuna natin paano yung tingin ng ibang tao sa atin kaysa sa tingin ng Diyos sa atin. Sometimes, yung mga dinadaanan natin, yung mga temptation ni Satan sa atin, he uses our needs, he uses the temptation for fame, power, para makita tayo ng mga tao na ganito tayo, mataas yung katayuan natin sa buhay. That doesn't mean anything kung sa Panginoon ay hindi maganda yung tingin niya sa atin. So give space for God. Kung meron mang umaaway sa inyo, hayaan nyo yung Panginoon ang mag-deal sa tao na yun. Pangatlo, silence helps us to learn humility. Kaya kay Jesus. Hindi ka ba ma-humble pag lagi ka na lang pinapagalitan tapos pero may false humility. For example, yung kwento ni ang Sir Rizal, ng bata para si Rizal, pinagdala siya ng adobo doon sa bahay ng tiyahin niya. Pagdating sa bahay ng tiyahin niya, nagduda yung tiyahin niya kasi parang konti yung pinadala ng nanay. Sabi kay Sir Rizal, buksan mo nga yung bibig mo. Kasi akala ng auntie niya, kumain ka. Hindi binuksan ni Rizal yung bibig niya kahit pinalo pa siya. Pero hindi naman siya kumain. I don't think that was humility. Kasi experience ko rin yan nung bata ako. Hindi ko maginawa pero pinagbintangan ako. Tumahili ako pero galit na galit ako Napagalitan ako lang kasalanan. I don't think that was humility. I think even as a child, meron tayong Galit tayo pag pagdududahan ka, hindi mo naman ginawa. Di ba nakakagalit yun? Parang umuusok ulo mo sa galit, kung pwede na. But, silence teaches us to learn humility. And then, cultivate silence to learn to listen to people and to God. Naturuan tayo ng Panginoon makinig sa atin. Yung pakikinig sa mga tao, maraming mga tao na they just need someone to talk to them, to listen to them. Maraming mga tao na kailangan ng kaibigan. And this is one way to serve them. And also to God, listen. Para sa atin, we need to be able to listen. How do we listen to God? God talks to us in our right brain. Mostly, yung natin, yung intuitive natin. Intuitively, alam mo kung ano, mali at tama. Alam natin yan. And God usually talks to us that way. And we need to be able to silence our hearts so we can hear. So, what are the ways to practice silence? So, galing po ito sa soulshipcurving.org. Paano natin ipapractice ang silence? Number one, yung kaya kanina, listening to people. Give space for people. Makinig tayo sa mga kaibigan natin. Makinig tayo sa wives natin. Sa mga kaibigan natin. Kailangan natin matuto makinig sa mga tao. Pangalawa, we can practice silence in a community. Doon sa una natin, listening to people, we need to learn na we don't need to have the last word. Kasi di ba sana natin pag gusto natin tayo yung last word. Sana last word lang, hindi last testament. Last word natin, gusto natin tayo yung makapasok ng huli. But it doesn't have to be always like that. We don't need to impress anyone with the last word. To have the last word. We don't need to impress anyone because we are in Christ. We are in Christ. So, what people say about us, what they think about us, is not as important as what God thinks about us. Yung sa community in silence, we can practice this by being in a community where we can silently meditate on Scripture with others. Perhaps for a few minutes or more, such that the community holds one another in the presence of God. So dito pumapasok yung small groups natin. We can have times together to silently pray or meditate on Scriptures together with other people. Now the third way we can practice silence is contemplative prayer. So we enter into a deep stillness of body and mind before God. Yung ginagawa natin dito, we just simply, in our imagination, try to see God's beauty. We just try to see God's beauty. We imagine how good He is. We imagine how much He loves us. We look at Jesus in our hearts, using no word or thought, just feeling that the Lord Jesus is at the center. Andyan siya. At the center. Sometimes when we pray, yung prayer natin is always towards heaven. Yan yung kinaugalian natin. That the Holy Spirit is in us. We are right now in fellowship with the Trinity. That's because of Jesus. We are held by Christ. Together with Christ, we are right now in fellowship with the Trinity. So you can pray and pray to God in your heart. Andyan siya. Not outside, but just to go deep, go quiet, be still. Just to be with God. Just to be with Christ. The one that loves us most. The best way to enter into this intimate prayer of contemplation is to meditate on a Bible story, image, or phrase. So, one Bible verse that I love very much is 1 John chapter 3 verse 1. We can meditate on that. See, nakalimutan ko yata. See how much love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. That is what we are. Just meditate on that. That's a wonderful verse. But we can go to a silent retreat. Are you filled with stress? Are you filled with anxiety? Does your normal activity, yung routine mo, lagi ka na lang napagod? Set aside a time. Choose maybe a day or more. Find a retreat center, privately or in community, and just go in silence before God's presence. And then you will hear His soft voice speaking to us. You are my child. In stillness, you will see your salvation. So, in conclusion, sinulat ni C.S. Lewis na, sabi niya, always remember that poverty and every other ill, once lovingly accepted, has all the spiritual value of voluntary poverty or penance. Ibig sabihin, kung nandun ka sa isang sitwasyon na hindi mo pinili, hindi mo ginusto, pero tinanggap mo, that becomes like voluntary. Nagiging parang hindi na pinuwersa sa'yo, kundi tinanggap mo na ng buong loob. So, that's a very interesting idea na yung mga bagay na pinagdadaanan natin, na tinatabo ng buhay sa harap natin na hindi naman natin ginugusto, can actually be turned for our own spiritual benefit. We still have a choice for those things that we think have been forced on us. What kind of attitude to meet that situation? We saw Christ terribly suffering. But He chose to meet that suffering with silence and submission to God and with self-control. So, rinaikan ka ba ng girlfriend mo or boyfriend mo? So, maglalasing ka? Or may family problem kayo, so idadaan mo sa paninigarilyo or pagdudroga. Pinanganak ka ba sa Pilipinas, pero gusto mo maging Amerikano? Wala kang magawa. So may mga bagay na hindi natin mapipili, hindi naman natin gusto. Sabi ng nawasa, wala tayong tubig mamaya hanggang 3 araw. So pwede kang magmura, magalit, magwala. Sabi ng Meralco, wala tayong kuryente ng 8 oras. Galit ka na. Galit na tayo. Or pwede mo na i-charge yung cellphone mo agad. Or yung laptop. So, we can meet situations that life forces on us with an attitude that we can choose. Kami pili natin yun. Pinapakialaman ba yung plano mo sa kasal? Ay, ba mga gano'n, mga pag-ikwento natin. We can still be happy. People will be happy. We just want people to be happy. Lemons can be turned into lemonades. Sour situations in life can become spiritually beneficial. All things work together for good for those who love God. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, may we learn to meet every situation that we face with grace, with the attitude of Jesus Christ of trusting in you that everything will work together for good, and that we trust you, Lord. We trust in you our lives. Our hope comes from you. You are our rest. You are our refuge. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name we pray.